Hello friends, welcome to the Blazor tutorial. In this tutorial we are going to see what is Razor component, or we can say what is Blazor component. So in the previous tutorial we have seen like Blazor is a single page application. It is used for making client side web application with the .NET, and it support the C# code instead of using the JavaScript and jQuery for the client side web application. Like we have understand this one, like in the previous technologies, if we are going to make any client side application, then when we have to use the JavaScript, jQuery and Angular, but the Blazor came in the market and we use C# code instead of the JavaScript and jQuery for making the client-side web application. And the Blazor work in all the modern web browser, including the mobile browser. And the WebAssembly is the main point or part for the Blazor application. So basically this WebAssembly is used to build the .NET C# code in a web browser without any additional plugins. So that basic understanding of the Blazor we have seen in the part 1 of this tutorial series. So in this tutorial we are going to see what is the Razor component, and we can say what is the Blazor component. So basically Blazor is a component driven framework, means it is a framework that is used to make the web UI with .NET, and the Razor component file have the .razor component. Like if any file which have extension .razor, so that is basically a Razor component. And Razor component can be nested, reusable and can be shared across multiple projects. What is this means? Like in a one Razor we can call the another Razor component, so that is the basically a nested Razor component, and it is a reusable. Like I have created a one component and I have written some logic to that Razor component. I can use that component in other components, so it's basically a reusable. And even we can have a shared across multiple project. Like if I have a Razor component, I can use that Razor component in multiple project as well. And the component name must start with the uppercase character. So like if I am going to create any component, then the first character of that component should be the uppercase, otherwise it will give a exception, like the first character should be uppercase. And now in .NET Core 3.0 provide the support of hosting Razor component from server side by using ASP.NET Core application, and the single R connection handle UI update from server to client and client to server. So basically this is the single R is the basically a connection when any communication happen between the client and the server, and using this single R connection we get the information from the server. So let's understand this Blazor component within application. So like in the previous tutorial we have created this default application, that is Blazor app. So basically here we can see, like under this page folder we are looking, there are many .razor extension file. Basically these all are the component file. Like we can see here there are 4 component file, and there are some component file those comes under the shared folder. So basically these are the shared component file which we can use in another component file. So these are the shared file. Like we can say here the main layout. So this is the shared file which we can use in all the shared file, and these are the pages wise component. So it's always recommend, like if we are going to create our new component, we should keep that component under this page folder, so it will be very easy to understand and very easy to find the new component which we created. So I have run this application, and like when we run this application we see there are 3 Razor component is showing to us. Like one is the home, that is default index.razor file, and another is the counter.razor. Basically what is happening here, there is some logic they have written, like when we click on this it is increasing the count, and next component, razor component, is the fetch data. Here it is having the weather forecast information. There they have written some logic to get this information. And when we are going to the particular component, we are looking like here one component, like here it is appending like slash counter, and when I go to the fetch counter, it is appending the fetch data. And when I go to the home page, and there is no it is not appending any component here. So basically this is a default one. So let's see about the this counter component. So when I open this counter razor, so here we can see like basically one razor component is the combination of the HTML code and the C# code, like it's a combination of the two. And here what is happening, basically this razor component work with the two-way data binding. Like what is happening here in the C# code, what I have they have written, like they have taken a one private variable called current counter, and this current counter count they are printing here, and based on this function, like on click function, they are calling this function, and they are incrementing this one, and respective to that the current count variable is incrementing, and it is showing on the browser. So basically it is working as a two-way data binding. So basically when the application is compiled, the HTML and C# code converted into the component class, and the name of the generated class matches the name of the component file. Like when we run this application, it finds this component file, and the first letter of this component should be the capital letter, means uppercase letter. If we don't add a component file that start, like if we add any component file with the small letter, then it will give the compilation error. So that is the thing. So like currently what is happening when we run this application, like this, like how it communicate with the server. So basically when we run this project, so a single R connection is established between the server and the client browser, and after after the counter component is initialized, like what is happening when I click on this, so when the counter component is initialized, so first time when it initially render, and when the when I click on this, it first time it initially render when we click on this button. So this information of this click event is goes to the server using the single R connection, and when the response comes of this event, the basically in the response to the event, this component is registered, but the entire HTML doesn't come. Like when we are when we click on this, so it communicate to the server using the single R connection, and the response, it doesn't come the full HTML. Basically the response come only the incremented number, the logic comes back. So since the only change part of the page is updated instead of reloading and updating the entire page, so that is the logic behind the single R connection and the counter, like how it component work in the Blazor. So basically we can create the nesting razor component, like as I explained, like we can call a component razor from another component. So what I will do, like currently what we are looking here, we are looking like in the home component, we are not looking anything. So what I will do, I will take this counter, like I will call this razor component from here and fetch data component from here. So how we can call that? So basically for calling that, what we have to do, like I want to call after this one, so we have to call like counter, and in similar way I will call the fetch data razor counter as well, sorry, this fetch data component razor as well. So let's build it first. So basically this is the way we can call the nesting razor component, like from one component like index.razor component I am calling another counter and the fetch data component. So when I will run this application, what will happen, it will load these two razor component on the index component as well. So let's run this application. So let's go to the browser and we can see like on the home page, like on the index razor, we can see there is a one, it is calling the counter razor as well, the weather forecast razor. So when I will click on this, it is increasing the number. So that is the logic of the nested component in the Blazor. And another thing, like if we want to use the reusable component, so what we can do, we can keep all the those kind of component which we use like again and again, those kind of razor we can keep inside the shared folder. So it will be easy and it will not be like writing same code again and again. So like go back to the counter.razor and we are looking like here the code is written with the @. So using this we can write the C# code. And what we can do here, like suppose I want to change the style for this paragraph. So what I will do, like I will take a one style parameter here, like what I will do, private, and I will take a one variable that is like style, and I will give like Vardhana to change the font family. And here what I will do, I will write like style, and what I want to change, I want to change the font family of this. And here now I want to use the C# code. So using the C# code, what we have to do, we have to use the @ keyword, and when I will take that variable like style, we can see here like it is showing here, so I will use it. So this is the way we can use the C# code into the HTML code by using the @. So now let's reload that page and see like it is changing the style of this paragraph. So let's go to the browser and we can see like it is change the style of this current count. Like we can see here as well, like it is changing the style of this current count as a Vardhana. So this is the way we can use this Blazor component in the Blazor application. So basically if this is very small page and very small logic, so we have written the C# code and HTML code in the one page. But if it is a big application, then it's always a good practice to separate this HTML code and the C# code, so that we will understand in the coming tutorial like how we can create the C# code into their own separate file. So basically for creating the separate file of the C# code, we can take two type of approach, and first is the partial file approach and next is the base class approach. So that we will see in the coming tutorial. So for regarding to the this razor component or Blazor component, that is the thing. So if you have any question or doubt, please comment. Thank you.